Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for a Q&A session on future-proof your career, the skills and strategies which are needed for 2025 and beyond. At Myra, we are committed to empowering professionals to thrive in a rapidly changing world of work. And today's discussion is all about just that, building the skills, the strategies, and the mindset needed to stay relevant and resilient. As we all know, the workplace is evolving faster than ever with AI, digital disruption, and economic shifts reshaping roles across industries. That's why it's so important today for each one of us to take charge of our careers and actively prepare for what's ahead in the future. I'm thrilled to be joined today by someone who brings deep insight and practical experience in this space, Divya Srivastav, who has helped many professionals navigate their career paths and help them to build a meaningful career roadmap. Welcome to the show, Divya.
Thank you, Shivani. Thank you so much for your warm welcome. I look forward to the Q&A today, and I think we've already discussed that there's many doubts, concerns from our clients as well, and we thought it would be best to actually address it through this forum. Thank you so much.
Great, Divya. So we have certain questions from the audience today. So because we did certain surveys last week, and there are certain questions that has popped up from the audience. So one of the questions I'll be putting it up over here is how can professionals identify if their current skills are becoming outdated? There's often a gap between where we think we are and where the market is heading. So how can individuals get real clarity on what needs to be evolved?
Right, I think that is a standard dilemma which everybody faces after a few years into work. And there are some clear flags in your career that you need to keep a lookout for. The first one really being industry trends and your own job descriptions. You must monitor job listings in your field, even if you're not job hunting. Repeated mentions of tools, platforms, or skills you don't have can indicate shifts. Follow industry news, blogs, podcasts, and thought leaders in your space, in your domain, and stay updated on emerging technologies and methodologies. The second is the performance feedback that you get at work. If you're receiving feedback that your work is slower, it is less efficient, or less innovative than peers or industry standards, it could be a red flag. And of course, decreasing KPIs with that, or less involvement in important projects at work is also a signal of a skill gap. The third is really changes in tools and technologies. When your workplace starts using new software platforms or processes that you struggle to adapt to, it's a clear signal to upskill yourself. So if you find yourself relying heavily on others to handle newer tools, that's again a potential sign. The next one being professional peer comparison. You compare your skills and knowledge with colleagues in your network. And are they discussing tools or strategies you're unfamiliar with? So join professional groups on LinkedIn or industry specific forums to benchmark yourself. The next one being certifications and continuing education, something which we constantly remind our clients. New certifications or training programs popping up in your field often reflect emerging requirements. If your current certifications or education are 5 or 10, more than 10 years old, and you haven't updated, a refresher course may be necessary. So don't just assume that your CV will help you get aligned with the expectations of the job market. You're purely being hired for skills, especially the ones who are up till 5 to 10 years or even 12 to 15 years experience and slightly more. And I will get to more experienced folks subsequently in the conversation. Uh, Another very important red flag is diminished career opportunities. So fewer interview callbacks, missed promotions, or stagnant salary growth can indicate your skill set no longer aligns with market needs. Recruiters might be looking for expertise that your resume lacks. The next one would be feedback from mentors and industry contacts. Seek honest feedback from trusted mentors or peers. They can provide an external perspective on whether your skills match current demands or not. And last, which is very, very important in today's times, is automatability of your role. If aspects of your job are being automated or outsourced, your role might be shifting in a way that requires new competencies. So I think, Shivani, these are the top, 7 to 8 red flags or signs you need to keep a lookout for if you need to identify why your current skills are becoming outdated.
Thanks for sharing all the insights, Divya. And before we move to the next question, I want to take a quick moment to invite all our attendees. If you have any questions you'd like to discuss with our team, feel free to write to us at connect@myra.pro. So, Divya, we do also have another question popping out. So, how can individuals build a career roadmap aligned with future trends? Because we often hear strategic planning for businesses, but what does that look like for a personal career?
Look, Shivani, building a career roadmap aligned with future trends requires a mix of self awareness, extensive research, and adaptive moves. And these are the top three pillars which I would say is very, very important. And I'll share a structured approach right away to help individuals future proof their careers. Self assessment or self awareness. Look, if you don't know about yourself well, how can you talk about yourself? How will you know what is right for you? It really starts with you. So please, you become your own starting point. Identify your core skills, both technical and soft skills. Uh, Soft skills includes values, and values are very, very important because when you're actually identifying careers or jobs or companies, you need to be aligned to the basic value system, and of course, your personality traits as well. Clarify your goals. What do you want long term? Do you want a leadership role? Do you want flexibility in your career? You want financial growth? So what is your goal really? That's very important because a lot of times, we find that people are very confused what they want to do. The only ask is, I'm looking for a job, or I'm looking at a career shift or something new I want to start. But what do you want to do? That's very important. Evaluate your current role itself. Is it future resilient or it's likely to be disrupted? So that falls under the self assessment part of planning your career roadmap. The second one which I mentioned is research. You need to continuously and constantly follow industry reports. And in today's time, everything is really at the touch of the screen. There are reports being published monthly, annually, fortnightly, quarterly. World Economic Forum gives you, of course, what's happening across the globe. You have McKinsey, LinkedIn workforce reports, and many such reports that are being uploaded. I strongly urge all of us to please keep ourselves updated so that your moves are aligned with the larger ecosystem that you're operating in. Track technological shifts, example AI, automation, digital transformation, sustainability. These are fundamentally the most relevant and most trending areas at this point of time. So please make yourself more aware on what's happening in these lines and look at some of the macro trends like remote work, sustainable jobs, sustainable industries, data driven decision making. That would help you align from a skill perspective. Now, moving to skills, you need to therefore, of course, identify future skills with these in mind. Focus on transferable skills, critical thinking, communication, digital literacy, and adaptability are applicable globally across countries, across industries. So, identify which of these skills you have with you. You must track in demand technical skills in your field. For example, data analytics in HR, revenue management in hospitality, In your particular field, what are the technical skills needed, which are in demand as well. You can leverage tools like LinkedIn Learning, Coursera, ONET Online, and Future Skills Center. These would help you upskill yourself, and you'll be able to better position yourself for roles in your domain. Define your career vision. You need to have a 5 to 10 year vision where you want to be, break it into 3 and 1 year goals with specific milestones. For example, if you want to become an HR director in 7 years, you may need certifications, okay, leadership roles, and tech literacy in HRIS or AI tools. So have that vision in place for yourself. Build a skills development plan in terms of pure planning how you're going to upskill yourself, what are the different skills that you need, which is causing a gap between your current skills and future goals. Choose learning options. It could be a formal education in campus, proper degrees, certifications. It could be online courses, mentoring or coaching that you may need, and be open to project based learning. It could be simply volunteering or just doing a side hustle or side projects to gain maximum experience. And this is especially true for a lot of youngsters who are entering workforce. Please be open to a lot of project based learning because it gives you a lot of exposure immediately. Expand your network very strategically, please. Connect with professionals working in roles or companies you aspire to. Join industry associations, attend webinars, participate in online communities, and conduct meetings purely for the sake of gathering information. A lot of times, we hear from our clients that how do I reconnect with this person? It'll look so odd if I'm trying to reach out to him. He or she will think that I want a job. No, you don't need to start that conversation in that sense. You need to reach out to people and say, hey, you know what? I would want to seek more advice and guidance from you from a career perspective. And trust me, people open up the minute you change the context. And that'll help you. And of course, connect and take it from there. Of course, stay agile and iterate. Reassess your roadmap annually. The market around you is changing very rapidly, and your plan, therefore, is completely open to changes and edits. And therefore, you need to be open to pivoting based on new interests, opportunities, and market shifts. Most important, adaptability in itself is a key future skill. If you are stuck up, if you're holding on to your skills and experiences and you're living in a past glory, it will not take you with full speed into the future. So please learn to adapt, focus on mind shift. So these are some of the, areas or some of the points, Shivani, which I can share with you on how you can build a career roadmap.
I think they were very important in this era to have that clarity. I think these are very valid advice that you have shared. That one, yes, the goals has to be very much having a clarity on what goals and the vision that we have, and updating our skills at whatever career level that we are into. So because it's very important, because we think that we have reached a particular level and we do not need that updating of our skills. But I think with the technical shifts and AI being the new era which is coming, it's very important for us to be very up to date what is happening exactly and how the job shifts are very important right now. So I think that's quite an advice from your side, Divya. So here's another question that we have from our audience is, what are the top 5 in-demand skills expected to dominate the job market in the next 3 years? Because everyone's curious about what's next from tech to soft skills. So what should we really focus on?
Sure. Shivani, even my information would largely be dependent on some of the forecasts and research that our team does, which is from the World Economic Forum, LinkedIn, and McKinsey reports. The top 5 in-demand skills expected to dominate the job market over the next 3 years are digital and data literacy, critical thinking and problem solving, adaptability and resilience, communication and collaboration, leadership and people management. I'll take a few seconds to elaborate on all these five. It's not alien to any of us that digital and data literacy has taken all industries by storm. So it is very important that you focus on some of the sub skills like data analysis and visualization, basic coding, understanding AI and machine learning concepts. And there are many, many courses out there which can help you give a concept clarity as well as some kind of proficiency in the sub tools within that. You have data in front of you, but what do we do with that data? How are you able to ensure that you're channelizing it into correct decisions, doing the root cause analysis and the larger, broader strategic planning? This would be an offset of AI and technology taking over and how humans kind of complement that. I think just a few minutes ago, I mentioned about adaptability and resilience. Look, the pace of change in work environment is very, very fast right now, and it demands agility and emotional strength. And there's a lot of literature out there which will talk to you about, being resilient and being emotionally strong. It's very important that we focus on that particular piece in ourselves. So one is, of course, to be able to learn and unlearn very fast, be able to adapt to changes that are happening. And how do you probably cope with the potential stress? And it's not about absorbing the stress and making yourself unwell in the process, but being flexible and also identifying where to say no, where to say yes, and how much time you are allocating when it comes to moving at speed with the change as well. So, those things require finer time management as well. The fourth one, which I mentioned, was around communication and collaboration. As remote and cross functional teams are becoming the norm, communication is becoming the most important skill at this point of time. So, using all forms of digital communication like Zoom, having email etiquettes, how are you collaborating in a cross cultural environment and resolving conflicts, therefore. So it requires a very macro, 30,000 feet kind of a view of your teams, of your co-workers, and ensuring that you're constantly focused on the solution and taking everyone along with you, which brings to the last skill, which is leadership and therefore people management. At this point of time, each of us needs to be a coach and mentor to each other. We need to ensure we're supporting each other because all of us are going through really a very, very, dynamic time where all of us are feeling that our roles and jobs are under threat. So constantly mentor and coach your teams and colleagues, which therefore means be inclusive in your approach. And these skills, Shivani, are not tied to one industry. They're cross sectoral and future proof. So it's more to do with human skills, human capabilities, and your ability to adapt and constantly be open to learning.
Sure, Divya. Thank you so much for all the insights that you're sharing right now. I think it's very helpful for each and everyone because, yes, we are in an era where, these things are very important. It's there in our eyes, it's in front of our eyes, but some things that, we tend to forget that how we can, cope up with the skills and everything that is required right now. So, also, again, a gentle reminder to all our attendees if you have any specific questions or if you are looking for any personalized career guidance, do reach out to us at connect@myra.pro. Our team would be happy to support you in your career roadmap right now. Divya, we have one more question that what mindset shifts are essential for professionals navigating uncertainty? So, because we have all faced unexpected changes. So, how do you stay steady and even grow during these uncertain times?
Shivani, as I mentioned, it's a mind game, and therefore, mindset shift is all that has helped us over centuries to adapt be resilient, and move forward. And that is exactly where we need to focus on yet again as we navigate through uncertainty. So, from controlling and saying, I need to have everything planned out, you need to have a mindset which says, I can't control everything, but I can adjust quickly. The second one would more be in space of expertise, which I just mentioned, that don't live in your past glories. I'm a master in this space, and I don't need to learn. So continuous learning needs to be something which should be now in your arsenal. Fearing from failure, you know we have probably all seen and grown listening and hearing about perfection. There is nobody on this planet who's perfect. So please be open to failure and learn from it, from the mistakes. Look at every mistake as a feedback, and that it is helping you grow and become a better person. Don't be fixated to job titles. Please focus on what your role is. Are you a versatile contributor? So move from fixed roles to being a fluid identity. Again, the mindset of being at the top of your game and competing with everybody, I think the focus needs to be now more towards collaboration and working as teams and not siloed efforts. Moving from short term to a long term vision. This applies to jobs, obviously, that looking at an immediate job right now, have a plan in place that would my future success look like. And of course, from scarcity to abundance is another mindset shift, which I would specify is, don't think that, opportunities are limited and must protect mine. There are constantly new possibilities that are emerging all the time. And it's important that you keep an eye and look out for those. So I think these are some of the essential mindset shifts which would be required from professionals who are navigating uncertainty at this point of time.
No, I think it's very important the way, because as you said earlier, also learn and unlearn. This is a like takeaway from for me for from this entire session, that learn and unlearn something, because it's very important to unlearn older skills that you have and learn something which is upcoming new also. So that's a takeaway I would say, Divya, that I would take it from you from today. And we have one more question also, because we are moving with the time also right now. So we'll just pick up the last question. And also, if anybody has any questions, you can write to us, or also you can put it on the comments, and our team will be reaching out to each and everyone. So, Divya, how can one stay motivated and confident while transitioning to a new career path? Because this is such a common and emotional challenge that everyone faces. And what advice do you have for people making big moves in their career right now?
Shivani, staying motivated and confident during a career transition is tough. I mean, just to put it very bluntly, because you're navigating the unknown, often with no clear guarantees. But with the right strategies, you can build a momentum and stay emotionally grounded. So, I there is bit of a framework around it which I'd be happy to share over here. Uh, Create a clear why statement. Your motivation must always start with a purpose. Why am I changing careers, or why am I looking at starting a career altogether? And what are the values that you uphold? So, this why is very important and should be like a sticky note, on your desk or on your phone wallpaper. And you can revisit it when doubt creeps in. The second would be break the big leap into small wins. You know, uh, Transitions feel overwhelming when the goal seems too distant. So break it down, update your resume, reach out to 3, 4 mentors, complete a certification program, and celebrate every small milestone that you've achieved on your journey towards progress. Don't focus on perfection, as I just mentioned. And what we call as the imposter syndrome, you need to reframe that. If you feel like you're a beginner again, and especially this holds true for a lot of people who've taken a career break, especially ladies, for taking care of the young ones, or it could be any other reason. You need to replace thoughts like I'm not qualified to I'm learning and growing, or I'm behind in the career curve, replace it with I'm building long term strength. Do focus on affirmation. Any top 3 to 4 positive pieces about yourself, constantly tell yourself that I have this skill and this is something which nobody has, and this is what I'm going to work on as I move forward. Track progress visibly, use a journal or a habit tracker that you can monitor your weekly wins. This helps in boosting your motivation and reminding you that you're moving forward. Next is build a support system. Surround yourself with people who believe in your potential. Join communities in a similar space or in a similar domain, and find an accountability partner or mentor with whom you can share your journey and who keeps you engaged and supported along that. Focus on identity, not just outcome. How you are positioning yourself in your mind will help you talk about yourself and for the people to perceive you in that frame. So be specific when you talk about yourself. I am becoming an HR leader. Now, when you're constantly reinforcing this in your mind, you start the opening introduction with this statement, and people then start looking at you from this frame, as I mentioned. So focus and position yourself first in the right frame. Stay on top of the skills, as I just mentioned to you. Continue with your learning, manage your health. I think that's the most important piece that we take up in our career coaching also. Stay consistent with self care, sleep, eat, and exercise, the three pillars of holistic health. And once you are totally taking care of yourself, career change automatically starts happening. Because the journey of career change itself can be very emotionally draining. And therefore, you need to protect your mental health with enough downtime, nature, or journaling, whatever works for you. And not to repeat myself, but please embrace setbacks as feedback. Every rejection, a slow week, or a wrong turn is actually data for you. It is feedback. What is it teaching you? Or why is it happening to you? That gives you a fodder to self reflect. So, quick pro tip before we, kind of close is to create a wins folder. Save every positive email, compliment, or personal success and revisit it when motivation dips.
Definitely, Divya. I think that's definitely on my list today, and I'm going to definitely start for myself also. But thank you, Divya, for sharing such actionable insights today. And thank you to
So,
everyone who has joined us
Shreya,
today.
we have a question here. Can I?
Okay.
It's
Yes,
just
yes.
come in. We have 1 or 2 minutes more. What is your? That's Azhar Sayed asking. What is your opinion on switching a job from R&D to technical sales in food manufacturing sector? My opinion is it's absolutely possible. As I just mentioned, do your research, identify the skills you need to make that shift, find out people who are doing this right now, reach out to them, expand your network within that space in technical sales, in food manufacturing, reach out to them, position your profile specifically to your technical skills, what you can bring on the table, and what you are willing to learn. That's very important for any employer to gauge before hiring you. So it's absolutely possible. Please go ahead with it and don't stop yourself, Azhar. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you, Divya, for picking up the questions from the comment section now. And again, if you like all our attendees, if you like to continue the conversation in the future also, or explore tailor career advice also, please write to us at connect@myra.pro. We love to connect with everyone with you. Here's to building future-ready careers together. Thank you, Divya. Thank you, Divya, so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Shivani. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.